My name is Melody Anderson, and I am happy to be with you today in this way, sharing in these stories together. Last week, we got to hear all about the garden ministry here at NewSong, and what a wonderful, wonderful feature that was, and just to see the bounty and the beauty and all the things that come out of the garden. The week before that, we got to hear about creativity and, all the different ways that people use their hands to create things using the gifts that God gave them. Well, today we're going to hear about the pantry ministry here at NewSong, and I'm sure you have heard of it by now. If you haven't, you are in for a lot of information. There's so many things that happen behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, all around the scenes here at the pantry, and so today we're going to highlight that. So let me give you some fun facts about the pantry that you may or may not know. On average, we serve about 600 people per month here at the pantry, sometimes more. That is roughly 200 people per week. During the height of the pandemic, we were serving more than 900 people a month, We are paired up with a few grocery stores here in our community that donate to us both daily and weekly. We have a pickup team that is made up of 7 different people that pick up every day from our Target here in San Dimas. We have 3 different people that pick up from Costco here in San Dimas. So that means we have 10 people per week on different days, every day, different days. We have people picking up frozen, fresh, and grocery products from stores here in our community. Did you know that we have 2 industrial-size refrigerators, 2 industrial-size freezers, and we have 2 additional standard fridge and freezers? We also have a deep freezer that was just donated to us. The industrial fridge and freezers are huge. They're so big. Have you ever seen these guys? They're so big. Each week, we empty those out completely. So all that food that got picked up by the 10 people, all the things that we have in all those amount of freezers, we give those out completely each week. The pantry has 4, sometimes 5 distributions a month, and that means our pantry is open at least once a week. And this is my favorite fun fact. This ministry operates with roughly about 50 volunteers per month. Sometimes more. 50 people that I have on a list right here. 50 people it takes to run this ministry. And there's room for you also. Let's hear a little bit more about what happens in the day-to-day, what happens in the pickups, what happens in the distributions. Let's hear a little bit about that right now.
Welcome. Here is the pantry where we collect all of the donations that we receive from you guys, from Target, from Costco, and over here we have our boxes that we put together. Now, as you can see here, we have boxes that we build a standard amount, and we adjust it as needed for the number of people in the box. So like you see here is a party of 6. This box has a party of 8, so we're going to add more items as we go. Items that are on the shelf over here, extra items for children that we might need. They might have special requests for certain items that they're short on, so they'll mark that on here, and we go ahead and add these things in. So these boxes include a lot of the staple items that you guys donate, as far as on Sunday mornings when you bring for the pantry collections, and they all go in these boxes, so they all get used every single time. And then we add extra items that we get, sometimes we get excess of, like tea or coffee or, Capri Suns or little juices for kids, things like that we'll throw in there as well.
Hi, my name is Steve, and this is my wife Kim, and we're involved with the pantry ministry. We've been coming to NewSong for approximately 15 or 16 years, and we have 2 kids, Destiny and Joshua. I think I've been doing the pantry ministry about 5 years now. We originally, Kim and I both worked in the child care ministry for about 8 or 9 years, and after doing that, I was looking for another ministry to work on. And I remember praying on it, and I mentioned it to Kim one time that I said, I think I would like to do that pantry ministry, but I'm not sure, who to ask. And literally the next day, there was an email from Peter Tridy and asking for volunteers. And I thought, if that's a sign, maybe I should follow through with this. So I did, and I met Melody, and I started doing the Target pickup on Thursdays, and that's probably been about 5 years ago.
And then I retired April 1st, and he does it on Thursday. So normally I was at work, so I wasn't involved at all. So now I go with him on his pantry pickup and get to hear all his great stories.
Exactly. And it's very nice having a helper. I said I did it for
I'm his assistant.
did it for 4.5 years by myself, and it goes much faster having a partner. And it's much more fun. So
Yeah.
I appreciate the help I get, and we enjoy doing it. Like I said, I do the pickup for Thursdays at Target, and the way it works is I usually go there in the morning, usually around 10 a.m., and we pull into the back of Target, and usually the door's open. If not, we ring the bell. But they know me since I've been doing it for 5 years, so it's a very easy system. One thing I learned early was to wear a red shirt, so I look like a Target employee. And I've done that every Thursday for the past 5 years, and it's worked out well. I've been offered a job, and customers have asked me for help when I've had to walk through the store. But normally we go through the back, and it can be a little challenging because it's there's a lot of boxes and employees working and moving merchandise around. We go back to the refrigerator. They have a large refrigerator where they keep the merchandise that they're donating to our church. And so we go back there and wheel it back out to the car, bring it back to the church, and then we put it away. The pickup, varies pretty significantly. There are times where we've had to make 2 loads. I would say on average, it's usually around 6 to 8 boxes is an average load, but we've had as small as 3 or 4 boxes, and we've had as large as 16, 20, 24 boxes. So it does vary, but we're very appreciative of everything we get, and we know it's helping a lot of people. Obviously, doing this, many days it goes very smoothly, and of course, when you've been doing it this long, there's always bound to be some type of mishaps or adventures, and I can think of a few. I remember one time I did have to go through the front of Target, and it happened to be a large load, and so it was a bigger rack than normal, and I'm pushing it down, and I don't know if you know, but at Target, they have these little bumpies as you go out into the street, and it kind of, is uneven. So I'm pushing this huge 4-step cart out, and as I go over the bumpies, all of a sudden blueberries and yogurt fall all over the parking lot, splatter. And I just freeze and think, oh no. I mean, there's cars, there's people, pedestrians walking, and I'm just thinking, what am I going to do? And right at that time, there's a gentleman walking by, and he's on his phone, and he says, I need to go. I got to help this poor guy out. And it was so nice of him. Obviously, he helped me. It took us about 15 minutes to clean up this huge mess we had, but I was very appreciative that he helped me. I remember another time we had a box completely fall out right when we got here at the pantry. The bottom gave out because it was too full, and we had glass maple syrup all over the sidewalk here at NewSong with glass. And thankfully, my wife was here that day, and she helped.
And I could help.
And she cleaned it up while I was putting stuff away. But anyhow, we receive a lot of good things from Target and a lot of great food. And sometimes, everything from meats, cereals, energy bars, a lot of great food. But and we're very appreciative of it. But there are times where we have these mishaps, and it can be an adventure.
And one time, and it was in the summer when it was so hot, we got a whole carload full of boxes of the energy bars. But it was great timing because it's when the kids were out of school and they could use them. And Melody was here so she could help us. But it really is a blessing, Target, in the relationship we have with them.
Doing this pantry ministry, obviously, we really believe in it, and we feel it's a connection to the community, and it helps so many people. And on a personal level, we've also met people and had an interaction with different people that have been an impact. I remember when I was picking up at Target, and I had to go through the front again, and there was an elderly gentleman in a wheelchair, and as they walked by, he asked if I could do him a favor. And on that day, it was actually a very difficult day for me. I mean, normally it'd be no problem, but on that day I was really tight for time. It was one of the few days I was hoping it was a small load. I was hoping it'd be quick in, out, and I could get onto my appointment because I had an appointment that I just couldn't miss. So as that man asked me, briefly in my head I thought, of all days, and then I thought to myself, you shouldn't think that way. This guy, needs help. So he asked me if I could push him back to the rest home, which is right next door to Target. And he explained that he can come down because it's downhill, but going home it's uphill. So I told him, I stopped and I said, yeah, I can do that for you. I have to run in and pick up a donation, but I'll go ahead and do that. And he says, thank you so much. So I take care of that, and I'm wheeling him. And I get back and I said, okay, let's go. So I start wheeling him back home, and he starts talking to me just about various things. And he keeps telling me how kind I am for helping him. And he said a lot of people come by and they say hi, but when he asks them to push him back home, they say, oh, they don't have time or this and that. And he says he was very appreciative that I stopped and did it. And as I went about my day, it turns out I did that for him. The load was small that day. I took it back. Everything went smooth, and I easily made my appointment. And I thought I was so happy that I helped him. And I didn't let the fear of missing my appointment, not do that. So it was a good lesson for me to, have faith and help people when you can, and things will work out.
It also gives you a lot of good stories to tell our small group.
Yeah, it does.
he entertains them with pantry stories. And it also helps connect with people in the church. For example, with Melody. We knew Melody at the church, but we didn't have a close relationship, and it brought us closer. Also, Beth. We didn't know who Beth was, and you're going to hear from Beth in this Connect series. And she helps with this room, and she'll explain that. But we wouldn't have had the opportunity to get to know her. So it does give you an opportunity not only outside of NewSong, but also within NewSong. When you look at this in this pantry, we're very much behind the scenes, but God shows up all the time. And probably the most significant for me was when Melody had the vision of, it was during COVID, it was Thanksgiving time, and how are we going to serve people during Thanksgiving? And she had a drive-through, and we had different setups and booths, and some of you might remember that. But I had the opportunity to serve then, and it was so impactful because it wasn't about the food. It was about the connection with people. People were so grateful, and because the food was kind of at the end, each stop had a different theme. We had things for the kids, and it was just more to connect with the people. And I was so impressed by how many people wanted prayer, wanted us to pray with them, wanted to have that community, and we didn't even know them. And so to me, that was the biggest impact, along with when we have coffee on Saturdays once a month. We have an opportunity, because again, we're behind the scenes, we can actually connect with the people, and that's also a very significant time.
Yes, it is. And I just think for us, even though we're behind the scenes, it is a wonderful feeling knowing that we're part of something that is really helping the community. And I just think, God puts us in a place where we can help people. And if you just, have faith, it's sometimes I can remember like we would be, the cupboards would be somewhat bare, and you're almost praying for a large load, and many times it's been answered. And it can be very difficult, but it's also, we're very appreciative because we know that God has answered our prayers when we've been low on food, and all of a sudden He provides. And it'll be a huge pickup, may take 2 or 3 loads, but when that's necessary, God has always been there to provide for this ministry. I absolutely love this ministry, and it's been very dear to my heart, and that's one reason why I've done it for 5 years. And I know that a lot of times making a commitment like to 1 day a week, it can sound overwhelming or something, but I tell you, if you just roll up your sleeves and you realize how many people you help by what you're doing. It's just a great feeling, and we really have a good team. And again, we're part of the pickup team 1 day a week, but there's 7 days in a week, so there's 6 other people that are also picking up on certain days. And the team is really good about covering for one another, because we all have lives, and people go on vacation, or you have doctor appointments. But every time that I've needed or was away or needed, someone to cover for me, someone's always stepped up, someone on part of the team. So it's a great team to be a part of, and everybody helps one another. And I would highly recommend, if you've ever been thinking about, where could I help or something, this is such a great ministry. It helps so many people. We reach so many people. And whether it's doing a pickup day or helping on distribution day or whatever, if it's something you've thought about, go ahead and contact somebody at church, Melody, or anyone else that you would be interested, because it's been very meaningful for both of us.
And a lot of fun.
Yeah, it has.
Hi, my name is Beth Hassman, and I've been coming to NewSong for about 3 years now with my husband. And recently in the pandemic, I got involved in the pantry. I come in usually once a week, and I organize everything by categories, so it's easy to retrieve. And then I also have labels that I made, so when people come in and build boxes, they know where everything is, and then what are the essential items that go in every box. So there's like a number on oatmeal, and they know you give 4 packets of oatmeal or 2 packs of tuna, and so that way it makes the process a little quicker and faster to serve people. The donations that I organize are what the congregation brings in on Sundays or sometimes during the week, and then also their Target and Costco pickups. I'm usually here on the day that Target pickups come, so that's good, because then I can get those organized before distribution. It varies. Sometimes I come in and it's completely packed, and so I have a lot to do, and sometimes it's small, and so I don't have as much to organize. But I like to go out when there seems to be a hole. I'll go get something, and I can be specific on what I go get to donate myself. A lot of the items that I see sometimes are not there are obviously the essentials, because those are things that go all the time. Those are things that we need a lot, tuna and pasta and sauce, and cereal, oatmeal, rice and pasta, those kind of things. They are usually bare because they are given out every time. But we also get other donations of things like, we have baby food items now and diapers, and so that's grown. That wasn't there when I first started doing it. And then sometimes there's things like, cake products, and you think, well, why are people donating cake? But if somebody had a birthday or a celebration, we could at least give them a box of cake. And maybe sometimes we have candles, and that's really nice to know that we could help a situation be a little happier. When I went to the meeting for the pantry, it's because I wanted to start getting involved in the church. Now that we came here, we were comfortable, and I really wanted to get involved again. I used to be really involved my churches in the past, and my kids' school, and I have a lot of time on my hands. My kids are gone now, and a long time ago I did a Bible study thing, and it was talking about your gifts, and I never really thought my gifts were anything useful, because I basically like to feed people. I like to make them coffee and be homey, do that kind of stuff. And I had a friend that told me that my gift is hospitality, and it can be used. And so when the pantry came up, I thought, okay, I can totally do that. And I love to organize. I'm kind of crazy about that. So it makes me happy, and it keeps my crazy from coming home. I can organize here and not rearrange stuff in the house. So that works too. But I really enjoy it, and it's kind of my happy place on once a week. Another reason I got involved in the pantry is years and years ago at our old church, I met a lady at Bible study. She didn't know me, but she had a 2.5-year-old daughter who was going through a really horrific divorce, and I offered to watch her daughter at the church so that she could go get services, WIC checks and food stamps and stuff, and she didn't want to bring her daughter. And so I offered to watch her, and we ended up forming a relationship, and we watched her daughter all the time. But I saw her having to go get groceries at the door and not having any. And then even though she was getting groceries from the church, she would take anything she had left over to her neighbor down the street, had cancer. And it just really resonated with me that we really can do something, even if we don't think we have anything. And I just, when the pantry came up, I needed to be in there because I wanted to be somebody that could impact another person and help them through that time. And so I think it's really important because you don't know what it's, I never knew what it would be like to absolutely not have anything, but to be with her when she would get her groceries and then just be so generous afterwards. So, and we're still really good friends, and now she's doing really good, and she has a, oh my gosh, 17-year-old daughter, and they were just posting the other day, and they're going to their church, and they work in the pantry, and they pick in the garden to put stuff in, and it's like now she's giving it back. So if you're wondering how you can help or how you can use your gifts, one thing is just taking action, because you miss 100% of the shots that you never take. My son's putting that in his classroom, being a new teacher, and it just really resonated with me because it's true. I never stepped out. I'm very shy, and so even using my gift of organizing and hospitality was really scary, but I am so glad I do it. I'm blessed every week when I come here, and you know, if I never stepped out, I would have never met my friend, and I would have never been able to be a part of her daughter's life like we've been able to do, and that would be really sad. And so I just think, you know, think about what it is. I don't know if it's sewing, sew blankets and donate them, give them to the babies here or something. I think there's something everybody has to offer. We just have to take the step and do it and say yes.
What is probably your favorite aspect about serving in the pantry?
Oh, I love meeting all the people. And for me, it reminds me of when my family was in need and how much it meant. So unfortunately, when I do the boxes, I'm thinking about me as a little kid getting the amazing treats and just brightening up my day in maybe a dark time for our family. And I'm a people person, so I just, saying good morning, and I love what our pantry does. So it's a beautiful way to connect with our community, invite people to church, make new friends, so I love it.
My name is Craig Harris. I've been helping out in the pantry for around 12 years, on Thursday nights mostly, sometimes on Saturdays, but mostly on Thursdays, and it's been great. I've had my daughters help out, and that's been a great joy to have them share with me and give to people who are in need of food. And yeah, it's been a quick 12 years. I can't believe it's been out. I like just giving to others who are in need. There's a lot of folks out there who are going through a hard time. And just to be able to give them a lot of food, sometimes more than they ever expect, which is great. It's just great to just give to others and just help out. And being a part of this ministry has been just tremendous.
Hi there. I enjoy the pace. It's quickly trying to service people and get their needs taken care of. With a joyful heart and a smile on her face as much as possible. I enjoy the pace, quick movement, being able to fulfill things as quickly and hopefully as possible.
Hello, I'm here with Megan, and we probably fill in at the pantry like every few months or so. We don't do it all the time, but it's always really good to be able to meet some needs, like really hands-on, and it's really fun to have the kids down here and be able to do it as a family.
Hi, my name is Brianne. This is my daughter, Michaela. We started helping in the pantry pretty much during COVID, kind of as a way of connecting with people, getting out and still being able to interact, spend time together as mother and daughter, and just be able to give back in a way together and spend that time together. Our part at the pantry is just to take out and stock the tables with goods and give out all the miscellaneous items, eggs, dairy.
I help bag with the produce and fruits and vegetables to hand out to people.
What I like most about it is getting to interact with the people, see those that are very appreciative. The kids that come and receive food always like to see kids their age that they can interact with and say hi to and feel that they get connected with them.
I'm so happy to join the church here. The servant is very good, and Melody, we love her so much and the church so much, and thank you so much for everybody. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jesse. I come here to this church here because the people are so nice here. I've been out of a job for a while. I can't work. I'm limited. I have degenerated neck, back problems, and I try to work, get some jobs, do some time somewhere, but I'm struggling. I come here, I feel bad, I feel sad, I cry sometimes, but it makes me happy coming here. I get something to take home and wake up with something to eat. It's a blessing. I thank you for them. It's a blessing out here.
Hi, my name is Deborah. I'm so grateful for this pantry because it really helps me out and my 84-year-old mother since we're both on low income. Thank you very much for all of your help. God bless. Thank you.
I'm so happy that we got to record these stories. We got to record people in action. We got to record some of our pantry guests. It is just so life-giving when this place is hustling and bustling with people all around. So let me tell you a little bit of the history of the pantry. It started off in a little closet inside the worship center, and it was mostly dry goods because there was no refrigeration or anything like that at the time. A little tiny closet with a few shelves. And then someone donated a refrigerator that we used to keep in the cage, if you know what the cage is. And that was it for a really long time. Well, then it got a little bigger, and we moved to the side of the building into another kind of storage closet that was refurbished with air conditioning. And again, our first industrial size refrigerator, our first industrial size freezer. And that's where we, Dean Roberts and some other gentlemen built these amazing shelves that could hold a lot more. And anyway, so it just grew and grew and grew. And before you knew it, we were growing even more. And we moved to a room inside the building, and now we have a whole room of dry goods. And the side closet is now our cold room, is what we call it. So it has just grown and grown and grown. It became clear. It became clear as we were growing that we needed more storage. We needed more resources. We needed more space to work. And so that all became clear to us. And now, we continue to grow. I still can't believe some of the things that we pick up sometimes. I still can't believe the ways we fit things in sometimes. We are all masters at Tetris, at just putting things where they can go. And so while being organized, as Beth mentioned. So, the pantry exists. It exists, and it is such a hands-on, vibrant illustration of what our mission statement here is at NewSong. And that is to be transformed by the Holy Spirit, to follow Jesus, to love people, and to do good. And over the years, we have seen this just transform, this ministry transform. And we believe that that is because God is leading us that way. He has led us this far. And we feel like we are definitely following Jesus in that we are opening our doors, we're opening our hearts, we're opening what we can give to share. We are doing some good in our community, and we are loving people. That's what we're about, and that's what we're trying to live day to day, a hands-on way of doing good within our community. There's opportunities for every age level and every level of ability. We have someone that can't stand the whole time during a distribution. Guess what? They sit on a chair and they are able to put something on a cart as it comes by. The little kids love to push the carts and love to participate in that way. They love to throw snacks in the boxes for other kids. It's such a tangible thing that all sorts of people can get their hands on. When I think about the pantry, I think about this passage in Acts 2. In Acts 2, where The early church is living and breathing every day together. Acts 2, verse 42 says, all the believers devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship and to sharing meals, including the Lord's Supper, and to prayer. A deep sense of awe came over them all, and the apostles performed many miraculous signs and wonders. And all the believers met together in one place and shared everything they had. They sold their property and possessions and shared the money with those in need. They worshiped together in the temple each day, met in homes for the Lord's Supper, and shared their meals with great joy and generosity, all the while praising God and enjoying the goodwill of all the people. And each day the Lord added to their fellowship those who were being saved. Now, here's the thing. We are not that early church. We are not living in that exact time and space. But we are living now, and this is such a reflection of what that can be, what that is, what that was. The good, the bad, the ugly. These people were sharing everything they had, sharing meals, sharing what they said, possessions. They were doing all sorts. They were sharing. They were opening their hearts. They were opening their homes to each other. They were opening their lives to each other. And you know, as I began to lead the pantry, that's what I really wanted to focus on. And I shared the vision with the team and with the 50 people. And if you come participate, you will catch on to that vision also, where it's a place where we want the food to be secondary. We want the food to be secondary. We want the relationship to be first. And we have seen that unfold, especially in this last year. We have had people come in their cars. That's the only way we know them sometimes. Oh, the green Chevrolet. Oh, the white station wagon. Oh, you know. And before you knew it, we knew their names. We knew their names. We knew their stories. And not only did we know them, but they knew us. They knew us. And so this relationship has just unfolded and developed in different ways. Now we're doing a thing once a month on the second Saturday of the month called Coffee in the Courtyard. And in Coffee in the Courtyard, now that we're able to gather a little bit more, we gather for 45 minutes before a distribution. And we sit and we have coffee and we read a verse, we share a prayer. It's not a service. It's not a big grandstand, concert or nothing like that. We just share time together. And that has been so, so valuable and so meaningful because we're not rushed. We're able to sit down and enjoy a cup of coffee with a friend. This last time that we had Coffee in the Courtyard, I had a mom come and I said, "Hey, I met your kids last time. Your kids, were in your car, so I assumed it was you." And but I met her 3 adult children. And I said, "Where are they? Where have they been? I haven't seen them since." And she shared with me, "Melody, my 21-year-old daughter had a stroke that night. That night she had a stroke." And so I said, "Oh my gosh, Maria, what can we do? What can we this? What can we that?" And she said, "You can pray. You can pray because I lost my husband to a stroke 9 years ago. And now my daughter has just had one. I'm living in fear right now. I am living on the edge of my seat. I need prayer." And that's what we want to have shine in this pantry. We want the relationships to have meaning, to have value, to know that our guests can come to us and say, "Hey, I need prayer." And likewise, when my mom died about 8 months ago now, I had people pray over me. I had people bring cards to NewSong and say, "Please get this to Melody." It's such a reciprocal thing that it's not only for me to bless them, they bless me. And I know they bless people that just come and participate. I know it. And again, this passage just reminds me that when you're living in a relationship with people, it's not all, chocolate and roses all the time. When you're living every day, you know that if you live with someone, right? You know that. And just like Steve said, there are good days and there are hard days. There are hard days where the blueberries fall over and there's yogurt all over the place. And, Marissa did a pickup the other day where she had, I don't know what she did, but somehow milk spilled all over the back of her car. One time, I forget who it was, but someone had to pick up such a heavy load of things. They had to actually leave some stuff because their car was dragging on the floor as they left. And it's just such a mix of, again, the good, the bad, the ugly. But the beautiful thing is that we can share in this. We can share in these stories and laugh and pray about things and, suffer together with these things. We can capture that sense of community here, and I believe we have. We can come together, grow and give and share. And what I love about this, as we saw in the creativity episode, is that with your hands on something, I believe that is a form of worship. When you are giving to someone else, when you are handing something to someone else, that is a hands-on way to worship and to say, God bless you, and to pray over what it is you're giving out. We have members of the prayer team that sometimes come and stand car to car and say, how can we pray for you? And they have made such a connection to folks in the line already. I'm so grateful for that. So how do we continue to move forward? Right now, we're just doing what we're doing. We're just doing what we're doing. We want to do it well. We want to be organized. We want to move forward. We want to face opportunities and challenges as they come. I also want to express gratitude for those who have been involved so faithfully, who have donated so faithfully. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your support. Thank you for just all the ways that you have kept this ministry going. As I look back on this verse again, it said, a deep sense of awe came over them as they saw the apostles perform miraculous signs and wonders. They shared everything they had. They worshiped together with great joy and generosity. Each day the Lord added to what they were sharing. That's just bits and pieces taken out of that same passage I read earlier, but you play a part in this. As we heard from Beth and Steve and Kim and Ralph and Jason and Monica, and I can't remember all the people who are interviewed right now, but you heard from them just now. It is such a community of people who are willing to jump in, who are ready to jump in and do whatever they need to do. And in their way, they are connecting with the community. If you are at all interested, please jump in. Jump in, connect. You will not regret it. I promise you. I promise. Maybe you'll regret it if we break a couple eggs or throw blueberries on the floor. But I promise that is not the norm. There is such reward in working alongside together. There is such a sense of just teamwork and love and partnership and awe and wonder as we just read. I invite you to take a chance and jump out and connect in a little way, in a big, however way. I would invite you to participate in this way. And as Beth said, maybe the pantry isn't your thing. Maybe it's not. But how will you know if you don't take a shot? How will you know? How will you know if being on the tech team isn't your thing if you don't take a shot? How will you know that not being on the hospitality team is not your thing if you don't take the shot? Take the shot. You have to jump in and connect with us, and we will point you in the right direction. And take a shot. Take an opportunity. This has grown into something I never imagined. This has grown into something that's so much bigger than all these 50 people a month. And I am so thankful for each and every person and everything that they bring to this. Would you join me as we continue to live in awe and wonder of the miraculous things that Jesus will do as we follow Jesus, love people, and do good?